Hello, friends, and welcome to your weekly meditation. Find that upright posture and just start to check into where you are in this moment. There's only one place that we can start from, and that is where we are. So, why not check in to figure out where we can start from? And although we often separate out many of the individual bits, I'll call them, of the body, it's one holistic body. So checking into, yes, your musculoskeletal system, any sensations that you feel from your nerve endings, checking in with the breath, the heart, the emotions, the thoughts, the wills, whatever you have present at the moment without judgment. And I don't know about you, but anytime I come to my seated space, my yoga mat, whatever those pieces are, already my body starts to relax into that space. So just notice if maybe you don't have layers, I'll call them, of relaxation. Meaning you check in and you start to relax. And as we continue to sit, maybe you start to peel off yet another layer of tension and relax even a little further in. When I notice myself having a lot of tension, I often ask myself, what are you bracing against? What are you resisting? There are different words, of course, you can use, but if that speaks to you, if you came to this meditation with a lot of tension, you might just inquire to yourself and then listen. I'm going to add in a visualization today. So bring your awareness to that space between the eyebrows. And it's been a little bit, but I've often led you back to the middle of the mind. So if you were to draw a line from between your eyebrows to the back of the head, and another one from above one ear to above the other ear, where those two lines intersect. So I just like to imagine I'm sliding my awareness back from between my eyebrows on that line towards the back of my head until I hit that intersection. And then pause right there, the awareness in the middle of the mind, Ajna chakra, or Agya, it's also called in some schools. And I was taught that in this space, there's only my voice, right? So that would be the same for you. So in this space, there's only you, your voice, your seat of wisdom. And we're going to imagine two aspects of ourselves. One aspect is that wounded part of ourselves, and we all have one. Yeah. We've all suffered in some way, and some of us in many, many ways to get to where we are in life at the moment. You might be suffering currently, and maybe that part of yourself has felt abandoned, neglected, like it doesn't belong, right? Those fearful, those aspects. And maybe also sometimes it's been angry, said and done mean things to yourself or to other people, right? And behaved in what ways we would say were negative ways. All of that exists within this wounded part and more. And in that other aspect of yourself, we're going to call that the true friend aspect. They know everything, every single thing about that wounded part of you. And they love you exactly as you are. So the visualization is in some way, we all um, like to get our love, our affection, right? Our support in different ways. So I'm going to give you an example of the ways, a couple of ways I do, and then I'd like you to find your own visualization here. One of the things my mother used to do when I was sick or sad is she would sit on the couch, I would lay down, my head in her lap, and she would play with my hair. So sometimes I imagine my true friend aspect doing that for me. And I love, love, love sitting in my true friend's lap, my wounded part of myself, and just cuddling in and being held like a small child or little baby. And it's my visualization, so I get to do those things. Yeah. So, is there some way that if you could get affection, support from another being, that would happen for you? Going to a particular place, holding a hand, someone cradling your face, or whatever that might be. And then can you imagine that your true friend aspect does that for you and supports you and gives you a home and a sense of belonging? And just sit in that comfort and allow that visualization to continue for a few breaths. And then maybe imagining that true friend aspect of yourself, telling that wounded part of yourself something along the lines of, I'm sorry for your suffering. I'm sorry you are suffering. I see your suffering. I see your pain, right? Whatever that is, find your own practice here. And maybe that true friend aspect even asks something along the lines of, is there anything I can do for you? What can I do to help? And then listen for a few breaths. And then, if there's a way that you would like to start to end this visualization, maybe your own self sits up from lying on someone's lap or whatever that might be. Maybe you look into each other's eyes for just a moment more, a hand on a cheek. And then to finish this together, let's all of us put one hand on our heart and the other one over it. So, not in prayer pose, but where we're holding our own heart. And if you prefer, you could put your hands on your cheeks or some sign of affection to yourself. And just taking a moment and recognizing that we can be part of our support system. Yes, we want to connect, it's healthy. The human mind, body, right, is hardwired for connection. But I believe that one of the pieces that's missing for many of us is a connection to ourselves. So just take a moment with that connection to yourself. Now bring your hands into prayer position, bow your head in, and just take a moment of gratitude that you gave yourself this space and time. And again, just an acknowledgement. Sometimes this stuff isn't easy to show up to do, but you're doing it. Um, and you're there committed to that wounded part of yourself, to helping that wounded part of yourself out. So thank you for that. Namaste. And if I may, just one quick word about there are quite a few people who study compassion, self compassion. I mean, there's whole university sections in medicine that are studying that. And in studies, what they have found is when they do mental mapping, right, connect people up to all the devices and they mentally map their mind when somebody else comes up that they love and like cups their face in their hand, holds their heart, cuddles them, hugs them, right, there are these certain parts of the brain that light up that then cause the chemistry of the body to kind of cascade, and this positive change is made throughout our body. And what they've discovered is that when we do that for ourselves, the same parts of our brain light up in the same cascade, almost the same, it's slightly different, but pretty much the same cascade of chemicals and effects, positive effects go through. So, yeah, it's awesome when we have someone to give us a hug or come and put their hand on our face and hold us in the various things, but we can do that for ourselves. That's amazing. And I've been playing with it for a couple of years and it's changed my world. So, may you find self compassion.